Hello, my first query is a query that uses order by. So here is my query. I'm gonna run the query in SQL and it shows the result. Okay, so the query was select product ID, product name and price from product table that is ordered by price, descending order. Okay, so the result is showing this is the product table where product ID, name, price is showing, and the list is ordered by descending order. See the price, descending order of price. So descending order is maximum value is in top and the minimum value is in bottom. So this has been listed by descending order of price. Okay, this query is about a query that uses inner joins. So here is my query and run the query. Okay, so here is the result. Okay, so inner joins table import another table data into a table. In this query, invoice table inner joins customer data because customer is a separate table and customer data need to use in invoice table. Okay, so here we go. A query that uses a subquery in a while clause. So here's my query. I run the query and here's the result. Okay, what happens in the code? I've selected product ID, product name, price description, category name from product category, where product category ID equal to category.category ID. Okay, so there is two table, one is product and another is category. So in while clause where category ID equal to category ID and product dot category ID, products category ID, select category ID from products, group by category, order by count, descending limit 1. So in the while clause I run a select query to get the category ID, which is order by count, and a limit is 1. And here is the result: product ID, product name, price, description, and using the inner query, category name has been showing. A query that uses partial matching in var clause. We're gonna use SQL like command to match the partial section. So I have copied the query and run the query, and here's the result. So what was in the query? Select product ID, product name, category name from product and category. Okay, there is two table, product and category, and I've selected product ID, product name and category, where product ID dot category. Okay, there is a relation between two table using category ID and product name like BL. So using this like section that matches partial of product name. So blue has BL and this blue has also BL. So this query finds those two data where product name has BL, and here is the result. A query that uses aggregate function. So we know what aggregate function is, which is a function in SQL to calculate something or to make a mathematical part in SQL command. So here is my code I have already created, and I run the code. So here, and the result, here is the result. So what I have done is I have create a blank column that is total sale for last 30 days, and run the aggregate function sum. So sum total price. Okay, where total price from invoice, where invoice date is now plus interval minus 30. Okay, that means now means current time and interval minus 30 days. That means last this will calculate the total invoice of last 30 days, the total price of the invoice for the last 30 days, and here's the result. A query that uses the group by and having clause. So a query that group by and having clause. I have run the query and here is showing the result. So what's the query? Select category name, product ID, product name, price from product and categories. There is two tables, product and category, and I've selected those fields where product.category ID. There is a linked in between two tables using foreign key. Group by category name having price greater than 100. So first I get the result of all the category name, product ID, product price, etc. and I group by product category name. So I group by this category name and then having price greater than 100. So this is showing only the products which price is greater than 100. So this is 200 and 150. Those are the greater than 100. A query that uses a subquery as a relation. Okay, my query is here. Run the query and go, and here is the result. So the query was select invoice number, that is in shipments table, shipment tracking number, shipment description from shipment table, and then select invoice number, invoice date, total price, customer, and okay, those are from those those are from invoice table, where invoice date now where invoice date is for last 7 days, and I marked this column as last 7 days invoice details where shipment. Okay, so this is the relationship between shipment and that invoice table using foreign key, and here is the result: invoice number, shipment tracking code, and shipment description. Okay. A query that uses a self join. So self join is query to collect something from the same table. Here's my query and run the query. Okay. So this is a data from staff table where staff ID, staff name, and their manager name has been stored. So I've selected staff name and staff name, and that is also the staff name as manager, managed by. Okay, from staff table, and then I again select staff table where staff table 1 manager equal to staff table 2 staff ID. Okay, so here happens is in the table for a staff the manager ID, which is also the staff ID, was stored, and by using inner join, self join, I have select the staff table and then again select the staff table. First one is S1 and then S2, where manager ID equal to staff ID, and then staff's manager. Here's another staff manager. So a query that creates a view. So the view is create a different table which collects data from the existing tables. So I already have the query. Here is the query, and that has been run already, which makes a table product category. and here is showing all the data from of product category. So the query was create view product category as okay. So here I'm creating the view, and then in the view I have selected category and product table, and the fields are category ID, category name, product ID, product name, and here is the joining between two tables. So all data of category and products has been showing here for category ID, category name, product ID, and product's name. So if I insert more data in the category and product table, then this will be updated as well. Okay, so this query is for a query that uses a view, that creates a view as a relation. So we already have created a view, and in Sonar we created a subquery as a relation. So this view hasn't created yet. Here is the code for the view creation, and when I run it, so a new table, a new table has been created, product category relation. The code was create view product category relation as select product ID, product name, and here is the relation code. I have relation the category name from the category table, and make the limit 1, and here is showing the table. A trigger that is useful in the context. So trigger is something like a query that is already created and that works when a new action is proceed. So for example, if we insert a data, if we create a trigger that has some rules to insert the data, and when we insert the data, the trigger will be executed and check the data. So for our scenario, we have created a invoice backup table and create a trigger for the invoice backup table. When invoice is created and invoice data is inserted into the invoice table, at the same time trigger will clone a copy of that data and insert into invoice backup table. Here is the query create trigger invoice backup table data insertion, and after insert or invoice table, for each row insert into invoice backup, all those information will be inserted into backup table. Let's see an example. For the invoice table, I'm gonna insert a data. For example, ID is 10, invoice number is 10, invoice date is the current date, total price is 500, invoice for trigger, customer ID 1 and stuff ID 3. So okay, so data has been inserted. Where is the number? Invoice number 10 here. So data has been inserted into the invoice table, and the same time data has been inserted into the invoice backup table. See invoice number 10 data, invoice date, price. So when we insert data in invoice, the trigger will clone the same data into the invoice backup.